Welcome to Really American. I am Michael Hain. I hope you're all doing well. Donald Trump and pretty much everyone connected to him is completely aware of how utterly awful his campaign is doing. They are gasping for air. They have virtually nothing to run on, and they are just manufacturing shit and seeing whatever will stick, with most of it failing miserably. So basically, the response has been exactly what you would expect from a bunch of overgrown man children who peaked in junior high, probably because some of them never finished it. Trump, whose skin is as thin as his hair, narcissistic and generally miserable, thinks that's the way to go through life. But that's basically Trump. That's who he's been. That's who he will always be. Because we all know that bullying is rooted in jealousy. Hence why he so mercilessly was jealous of Obama and perpetually manufactured racist garbage against him, knowing that Obama was better than him in every single facet of life and clearly physically. So he is unloved. Unloved Donnie basically hates anyone who gets positive reinforcement that he never had. So bullying and racism and sexism and homophobia is naturally MAGA's default go-to because, again, they are outdated, irrelevant fossils who were basically every dickhead bully in 80s movies who ultimately got their asses handed to them at the end of the movie. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So that realizing he has zero policy or anything legitimate to offer aside from his malignant narcissism, racism, and fascism, Trump recently reposted a meme depicting Vice President Kamala Harris with darkened skin and with the body of a dung beetle on a coconut. Apparently, dung beetles feast on animal feces, which most of us know is the entire Republican Party. Trump's horribly unfunny, dumb, racist maggot version is that of an actual New York magazine cover, showing Kamala Harris and others celebrating her presidential run. In the center features a large coconut with Kamala Harris celebrating on top. The message on it reads, "Welcome to Camelot." Pretty funny. Trump's reposted version, however, replaced the celebratory image of Kamala Harris with one depicting her with darkened skin and the body of a dung beetle. His meme obviously implies the coconut, a symbol some have used to show support for Harris's campaign, is a ball of animal dung. The depiction of her shows with the mouth open in an angry rage, wearing a gold chain, but with the body of a dung beetle. Oh, yeah, irrelevant racism. That's so funny. The caption on this fake magazine cover asks, "Are you buying our bullshit?" Even though that's the only successful thing Trump has ever made is bullshit. The darkening skin tone of black people is clearly a racist act. It's unclear if the darkened skin that covers most of Kamala Harris's face in his stupid meme is supposed to be a darker version of her own skin, or is supposed to represent the feces she would supposedly be feeding on as a dung beetle. Regardless, it's despicable, it's disgusting, and it once again just shows how freaking completely and utterly unfit this deranged, sweaty pig mental patient is. Naturally, Trumpy Dumpty has been dodging legitimate criticisms of his pointed racial attacks on Vice President Kamala Harris, like he dodged the draft. But now he even has JD Vance, creepy weirdo JD Vance, doing all types of verbal gymnastics to justify his flagrant racism. Let's take a look at that.
Could you speak a little louder? Sorry.
Will Jones from Local 4. I want
Yes,
to
sir.
talk a little bit about race. I was at the National Association of Black Journalists conference last
Yes,
week
sir.
where President Trump made some attacks on Vice President Harris's biracial heritage. You're married to an Indian American woman. You have biracial children. How do you explain his attacks, and what is your reaction to his attacks as a father of biracial children?
Yes, sir.
So I am the father of biracial children. Actually, my wife is here today, though my kids are back home with my aunt today. And look, I was not bothered at all by what President Trump said, and I didn't take it as an attack on Kamala Harris's biracial background at all. What I took it as was an attack on Kamala Harris being a chameleon. She pretends to be one thing when she's in front of one audience. She pretends to be something else when she's in front of another audience. And I think he was observing the basic foundational reality that Kamala Harris pretends to be something different depending on which audience she's speaking to. Now, she has been able to hide this a little bit because for the past couple of weeks, she only speaks in front of a teleprompter. She never gives unscripted remarks, and she's hidden from the American media and from the American people. But we know she's a chameleon. We know she's a person who promised to defund the police and now wants to pretend she's a tough prosecutor. She said that she would be our border czar, and yet for 3.5 years, we have an open border. She said that she would bring some common sense and lower inflation to our economic policies, and yet she cast the deciding vote that raised interest rates, raised home prices, and raised food prices. Donald Trump said something very simple, totally inoffensive, but frankly, obviously true to me, which is that Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She's a fake, and the American people have to look at her record if we actually want to know how she stands on the issues, because her words simply can't be trusted. Sir.
How can you fake your race? If
I'm
she's
sorry?
both Indian and black, how can she fake her race?
She fakes who she is depending on the audience that she's in front of, and that's who she is, and that's who she's always been. Sir.
Oh, couch Maybelline boy, you really know how to project and deflect. I guess that's one thing you got from MAGA. Political chameleon? Wait, was Kamala the one who was a never Trumper when it was cool to do so in 2016? You know, the one who said, I'm a never Trump guy, said that he is the biggest America disaster, basically called him America's Hitler. Was that her? Or was that a certain political chameleon who wears eyeliner? Now, I would like to return to a pivotal moment in the late Senator John McCain's then 2008 presidential campaign. If 2008 seems like many, many eons ago, it actually wasn't. But where we are politically, socially, culturally, MAGA has basically destroyed all types of civil discourse and normalcy. Anyway, there was a key moment in which then presidential candidate John McCain shut down the beginnings of this question, this birtherism and flagrant racism. Let's take a look at that.
We're scared. We're scared of an Obama presidency, and I'll tell you why. I'm concerned about someone that cohorts with domestic terrorists such as Ayers.
I have to tell you, he is a decent person and a person that you do not have to be scared as President of the United States. Now, look, I
got to ask you a question. I do not I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No?
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you. Thank you.
The late Senator John McCain, the last bastion of decency and intelligence, I guess, in the Republican Party. Of course, he screwed it all up when he decided to go with Sarah Palin, which paved the way for MAGA today. And again, looking back, it seems like Sarah Palin, kind of looks like Einstein next to Trump, but what are you going to do? Anyway, I am Michael Hain. This is Really American. If you enjoy our content, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Talk to you later.